Yo, 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 what's up, beautiful people? Abu here, and let's talk about Africa. Now, when you hear about Africa in the news, it's usually about poverty, corruption, or war, right? But what they don't tell you is that Africa has had leaders with incredible vision, leaders who dreamed of a prosperous and united continent. Many African leaders who boldly envisioned self-reliance, unity, and economic freedom for the continent became targets of imperialist powers. They were either overthrown, assassinated, or undermined through covert operations and propaganda. Here's a brief look at a few of them. Patrice Lumumba. This dude was a straight-up revolutionary. Became the first Prime Minister of the independent Democratic Republic of Congo. Imagine the hopes, the dreams, the weight of an entire nation on his shoulders. Lumumba wanted what any leader would want for their people. Economic independence, control over their own resources, and a Congo for the Congolese. Sounds reasonable, right? Not to everyone, apparently. You see, Congo at the time was like that kid in school with the awesome lunchbox everyone wanted to steal. They had diamonds, gold, uranium, you name it, Congo had it. Lumumba wanted to use this wealth to build his nation, to lift his people out of poverty. But those who had been benefiting from Congo's exploitation for centuries, they weren't about to let go that easily. So, what happened? In 1961, after only a few months in office, Lumumba was overthrown in a coup backed by, you guessed it, those who wanted Congo's resources for themselves. He was assassinated, and the details of his death are still shrouded in mystery. But one thing's clear. Lumumba's vision for a self-reliant Congo died with him. For a while, anyway. Let's talk about a leader who makes Che Guevara look like a moderate, Thomas Sankara. This dude was not playing around. He took over Upper Volta, renamed it Burkina Faso, which means Land of the Upright Man, and he lived up to that name. Sankara believed in Pan-Africanism, the idea that African nations should unite to be a global force. He was all about self-reliance, empowering women, promoting education, and fighting corruption. This guy was basically the superhero Africa deserved. He sold off the government's fleet of Mercedes-Benzes and made everyone drive Renault 5s. Can you imagine any leader doing that today? He even refused to have his portrait displayed in public buildings, saying it was a waste of resources. Talk about walking the talk, but of course, a leader who actually cares about his people and wants to uplift them is a threat to the status quo. In 1987, Sankara was betrayed and assassinated in a coup orchestrated by surprise, foreign powers who felt threatened by his revolutionary ideas and his growing influence on the continent. Next up, we've got Kwame Nkrumah, the founding father of Ghana. This guy was a visionary on a whole other level. He led Ghana to independence from Britain in 1957. Becoming the first sub-Saharan African country to break free from colonial rule. But Nkrumah wasn't satisfied with just freeing Ghana. He wanted to free the whole damn continent. Nkrumah's dream was a united Africa, a United States of Africa, as he called it. He believed that by coming together, African nations could pool their resources, leverage their collective power, and stand toe-to-toe with the rest of the world. He saw a future where Africa was no longer a pawn in the global game, but a major player shaping its own destiny. But as you can probably guess by now, that kind of vision doesn't sit well with those who benefit from a divided and weakened Africa. In 1966, while Nkrumah was on a peace mission to Vietnam, a CIA-backed coup overthrew his government. He was forced into exile in Guinea, where he lived out the rest of his days, his dream of a united Africa shattered. Now let's talk about the man who dared to challenge the mighty Dollar Muammar Gaddafi. Love him or hate him, you can't deny that Gaddafi was a force to be reckoned with. He ruled Libya for over 40 years, and during that time he did some crazy things, but he also did some good. He invested heavily in education, healthcare, and infrastructure, raising the standard of living for many Libyans. But his most audacious move was yet to come. Gaddafi had a vision for a financially independent Africa, free from the shackles of the Western-dominated financial system. His plan to create a single African currency backed by gold, the gold dinar. This was a direct challenge to the petrodollar, the US dollar's dominance as the currency of oil trade, and it sent shockwaves through the global financial system. You see, Gaddafi wasn't just talking about a Pan-African currency, He was talking about a new world order, one where Africa, with its vast resources, could dictate its own terms. This was a threat too big for some to ignore. In 2011, after a NATO-led bombing campaign and a bloody civil war, Gaddafi was captured and brutally killed. His dream of a gold-backed African currency died with him. Last but not least, we have Steve Biko, the South African activist who fought apartheid with the power of his mind. Biko understood that before you could dismantle the physical structures of oppression, you had to dismantle the mental chains that kept people enslaved. He was a key figure in the Black consciousness movement, which sought to empower Black South Africans to reclaim their identity, their dignity, and their self-worth. Biko was a powerful speaker, a charismatic leader, and a thorn in the side of the apartheid regime. He believed in the power of education and self-reliance, and he encouraged Black South Africans to reject the inferiority that the apartheid system tried to impose on them. He was a beacon of hope in a dark time, and his message resonated far beyond the borders of South Africa. But Biko's growing influence made him a target. In 1977, he was arrested by the South African police and brutally tortured while in custody. He died from his injuries, becoming a martyr for the anti-apartheid movement. Even in death, Biko's message of resistance continued to inspire millions around the world. See the pattern here? Every time a leader sought economic independence, true sovereignty, or African unity, they were either killed, replaced by puppets, or their reputation smeared to weaken their influence. It's like a broken record, but we're not going to stop playing the music. To all the young people watching, you are the inheritors of this legacy. Africa's story didn't go wrong because our leaders failed. It went wrong because those who succeeded were removed. But their legacy lives on in you. Don't let anyone tell you that Africa has no heroes, no visionaries. We have a rich history of leaders who dared to dream of a better future, and their dreams are now in your hands. The Ubuntu Solidarity Network is part of that resurrection, so let's finish what they started. Let's build a future where Africa takes its rightful place on the world stage, a future where the voices of its people can no longer be silenced. Peace out.